Hello there, this is Reece Russell, and you're watching the Weekly Steelchair.
It's my life in the box in front of me. Taking talk in my arms, it's the soul of me. You walk by, ask to see me laying face down.
Hello, everybody. How are we doing? Welcome. It's been a while. What's up, Chester? It's been a while since we've done a show like this, so welcome along. Hope everyone is doing well. Of course, we could have done this on Wednesday, but we don't need to. We do this on our time. But welcome to the Weekly Steelchair, where tonight we are going to review Dynamite from 2 days ago, and we're going to sit back, chillax, and enjoy the show, or as best we can. Depends on how you take it. What's up, Roy Sheen? But how is everybody doing? But of course, oh, hold on, there we go. What's up, Catherine? What's happening? I saw that it did spike a little bit. I apologize. It's been a temperamental little shit. Hopefully, it'll miss me. Hopefully, it won't stop misbehaving. It'll just. Okay, maybe not. Hold on. There we go. Fuck is going on? I think it's going to behave now. Out. Let me see. Hold on a second, folks. What is going on? I've got the speed for it, so what is going on? Maybe because the PC is getting used again. It's probably having a fit. 243 megabytes a second for download, upload speed. Are you going to top a ton? No, you'll at least hit 90, 98. Okay, 98 megabytes. But welcome, of course, to your AEW Title Tuesday review, where things get funny. Things do get manic. Things do get wild. Comment, eh? What comment's this? Yeah, the Scotland game. Why was it not shown? Why was it not doing that? I already did that. Strange. There you go. For some reason, it wasn't showing me a subscribe to Roy Sheen, but I thought it did. Terrible channel. Yeah. Scotland are playing, but at least we're not watching the fucking England game because we've got standards on this channel. We don't watch crap on here. Because fuck that shit. I wondered if someone was going to ask that. So we're going straight to the Raven news. Okay. Yes, if you haven't seen it, Raven as being diagnosed with early onset dementia. Sorry, Parkinson's. Sorry, Parkinson's. I've put on the channel for everybody. It's early onset Parkinson's disease for Raven. Of course, this was announced in his documentary, and it's a horrible fucking illness. So we do obviously send our condolences and our best wishes to the the Raven effect. Let's see, top 5 Raven matches. Number 1 is Raven versus Abyss dog collar match. Hands down, number 1. Number 2, it was late ECW period, but it was Raven versus Tommy Dreamer when Tommy finally beat him, because it was a combination of a story that WWE can't top anyway. That's a fun thing. I'm going to say this without controversy. The Raven Tommy Dreamer story is bigger than the Bloodline story. Colt the Raven, nevermore. Number 3, Raven versus Rhino. Raven versus CM Punk Clockwork House of Orange Fun Rules match. And number 5, the Raven when he wins the NWA title at King of the Mountain. Now, in terms of favorite Raven moments, Raven's debut in WCW. Number 2, Raven when he wins the tag team titles with Just Incredible against the Pitbulls, because the guy just does not care who he hits with that DDT. Number 3, Raven's debut in WWE because he ruins Jerry Lawler and that perv deserved it. Number 4, Raven moment number 4, it's a horrible one, but it stands true. When Raven gets his head shaved bald, because his face the whole way through, that guy looks like he can get through no pain. And then the 5th Raven moment, fifth Raven moment. Raven running over the big slow with a forklift. My favorite Raven promo. Raven's promo on Jeff Jarrett after he wins the world title. He rubs it in Jarrett's face. It's peak. So it's 2005. He rubs it in his face because Jarrett wasn't allowed in that match. Absolute gold. Although that Punk ruined his run. What's up, Tina? Thank God for this auto dub coming out soon because people will get to enjoy that. But I wonder if anybody agrees with what I'm going to say. But I liked Dynamite this week, but I actually think Collision will be better. Yeah, very poor indeed. England scored after 2 minutes. Oh, well. Horrible. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It was just solid. It's not like it's not a bad show. Like it's not an indictment saying it's bad. Yeah, the same hardcore title that at 2001 meant nothing. If you want, I'll show you exactly who he beat. That hardcore title meant nothing in 2001. Plain and simple. Sup tempo. Because he beat the Big Show for it. And it was on Raw. And it was crap. Yeah, I'm not even going to talk about NXT, TNA, Showdown, Piss Up, Drug Fest. None of that. Yeah, it could be better, but was good. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I've got no issue with that. I think that's reasonable. But I'm not going to come in and glaze it, you know? Thankfully, they didn't score James. Like, I'm not going to come in and glaze it, you know? That match was terrible. The Hardys versus Dark State was terrible. Like, plain and simple, like, they've shot themselves in the foot. Yes, that's been announced. And I'm going to say this in the nice way possible. And, like, here's a bit of truth. That match has been wasted already. I'm gonna say I'm honestly gonna say this for the first time. That tag match could be perfect, and I still don't care because they've rushed it. Like, if you're gonna be truly honest, what's up, everybody? It's good to see everyone. Like, if you're being truly honest, they've rushed Bucks versus Jurassic Express. Nice. Yep. See, that one's fine. But I have an issue with the Bucks versus Jurassic Express. Yeah. Why is it a WrestleDream? You could have built this. Like you could have stretched this. Jurassic Express versus the Bucks should be Full Gear, not WrestleDream. Oh, oh, hello, Jungle Jack, you fucking little doofus. Here you go. You're gonna go straight to a match with the Bucks. Why not just have Jack Perry versus Matt Jackson? Have a singles match. He's got the bigger issue with Matt than he does Nick. Just saying. It, and then you add the tag team element. But no, we're just gonna make the match. We're just gonna rush it. But sure, there will be a GCW versus JCW War Games match with the return of Madman Pondo. Nice. I'm looking forward to it. You can have your cheap plug. Ethan Page versus Ali was the only good match. Yeah, until it was ended on an absolute riot fest. People are going to think I'm going to come in here and I'm going to be totally biased towards AEW and say, oh, they do everything that's perfect. No. AEW's got a better product than WWE. I'll say that with a straight face. But this week's Dynamite was as solid as Tomohiro Ishii's forehead. Like, going to be so damn honest. Like, I thought the show was good, but it could have been so much better. And I'm like, where's the. Sometimes I'm like, where's the urgency? And that's for WWE. AEW, where's the restraint? Like, yes, Hangman did cut a great promo. Yeah, it's 3 hours to live up with it. It's because they're doing both shows at once. And that's reasonable because they're not going to run both together, which is understandable. I also feel like they are stuck. And I wonder if Hangman beats Samoa Joe clean. I actually think maybe he doesn't. And I'll be honest, I hope he doesn't. Tina, my only Twitch viewer, I hope you're doing okay over there and hope you're doing all right. But yeah, lest we talk about WWE, the better. We're not here to talk about shitty products. Sponsored by Pepsi Max. But you know when you're just in that phase, like that situation, that feeling. I'm not saying heel Hangman. I'm saying, well, I'm expecting Samoa Joe to turn heel soon, like fully. But what I'm saying is, I'm not sure if it will end in such a circumstance. AEW doesn't do it often on pay per view, but I actually think this match should end in a DQ. Yeah, I would honestly have this match end in the DQ. We don't need a tag team title tournament though. Why does everyone want to rush to a tournament? If he does that, it'll prove he doesn't learn his lessons. No worries, Tina. No worries. Let me just put that on my phone, the side screen. Yeah, that's fine. If you just go straight to a tournament, he's going to fail himself again. It's better not to fail than to push into a different situation. I hope it's not a tournament, I swear to God. It's not common logic, it's just Tony Khan's fetish for tournaments. I mean, it's pretty much what they do. Wait, what? You can hide what? Oh, there we go. Weird. Why is it doing that? Okay. Honestly, maybe AEW should adopt the JCW style title matches where a wrestler must work their way back up the title. I mean, that's pretty much what they do. Like you do lose a match. Realistically, you should work your way back to get in a position, but there isn't much on it. I think it should be a common concept across all promotions, really, where it's actually something I have a problem with, where people just get so many quick rematches. And I'm like, where's the deservedness of it? Greece literally dominating play, can't get a hold of Bliff. Yeah, I've got it on my phone beside me. Shitey. I think one thing AEW does really well is this. Their style of wrestling really does give more enjoyment to fans of a certain ilk, and that's fine. but it also misses little bits of tricks. And what I mean by that is you've got try to make it as easy to explain as I can because it does actually make a great point. All right, let me put it to you this way. Think of the AEW match that you automatically think of that you've seen and you're like, that's my go-to match. Everyone in the chat, what's your go-to Dynamite match to rewatch? Top of your head, just if you wanted to go back and watch an AEW match straight away, what would it be? And there's no right or wrong answer. Decent. Not bad. That'll be a tricky game. Switzerland are no easy opponent. To be fair, I'm part German and part Italian, so I'll be watching the Germany game. They better not fucking lose. The Italians will just draw. Scotland on a corner, but this moron referee doesn't know how to control a game. One comes to mind is Danielson versus Omega. Okay, Grand Slam 2021. Love it. So here's a prime example. James says Danielson versus Omega. So this is what I'm thinking. This is what I'm going to suggest. Pac versus Omega was Full Gear 2019, and for me, it's still in my top 5 AEW matches because no one has been able to top that. I can say that in a straight face. Pac versus Kenny Omega is the best Full Gear match. Like of all the Full Gear pay-per-views, it's the best Full Gear event match, and that was 6 years ago. And that includes Kenny versus Hangman. No, WWE didn't work you. Santos was on his way out. They just managed to negotiate new terms with him. And they seems to have benefited him, but I'm gonna say comfortably, I think he's a fool. I think he would have been so much better if he had played strong because he's somebody that they could actually use in a new way, a way that he actually would bring new benefit. And he's not gonna get it. I hate that talents don't get that, but like I said, there we had an example there of you take all your matches that you say. Mine's my go-to still is it was a long ass time ago, but it still stands true for me. When I want to watch no, All Out 2019 was different. You look up Full Gear, you've got Kenny versus Pac. Because they go 20 minutes and Pac beats him clean. Because nobody saw that coming. The All Out one, I think it was something else. Yep, and they just wasted it. No, it's alright, it's cool. It's cool. All Out 2019 though, I'll give you something for that though. I'll give you something for 2019 that stands out. All Out 2019 had one hell of a match. Well, actually, I had two, but one of them stands out, and that's Kenny versus Sean Spears. The reason why I like the you were right about Pac versus Omega All Out, but the one at All Out was referee stoppage. The All Out one, he pins him in the best way. So you're right, but also like by the way it works, it's not exactly that. Like the way it works was different. Jericho winning the world title at that event was cool. Yeah, Crown Jewel is on Saturday. For me, it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon in Perth. So in a way, you're kind of right by all of it. It's not the one I like the best. I like the following one. So damn good. Oh wait, no, actually I got it in the wrong order. Sorry, it's my fault. All Out, yeah, because Full Gear was Moxley versus Omega. Sorry, that's my fault. I was getting the wrong order. Yeah, All Out. Honestly, see when you don't sleep, your mind goes. So my mind has went that week, so you can put that one on me for getting it wrong. International, yeah, was until they made him lose to the worst wrestler in AEW. Anyone that loses a title to Orange Cassidy at that point should not hold title belts again. And I will not change my mind on that. Aye. Shut up, Catherine. My mind is still floating about somewhere. I'll catch it sometime. When I catch it, I'll spin it. Hangman had Pac at Full Gear. Yeah. To be fair, the unsanctioned match between Kenny and Omega was AEW's best match of 2019. The thing is, you can remember the matches, sometimes you can't remember the events. But when you remember the matches, it doesn't matter what event it was on. That's a true fact. That's why no one remembers a Roman Reigns match. So Tina wants me to know what my favorite part of Dynamite was, and well, in essence, this week it was. What was my favorite part of this week's show? I'll get back to you. um, to be fair, it would have to be Kyle versus Kyle. Then the TNT title match is probably the best match on the card. I did enjoy Brodito versus Okada and Takeshita, to be fair, but the TNT title match was far better. That should have been the main event. They've actually put it on there. Wow. The All Atlantic title. They should never have got. They should never have changed that. Because now it means nothing. One thing I will say though about this week's Dynamite, and this is something that again stands to what I was saying about. It goes back to what I was saying about. It wasn't a great show, but it was just a good show, but it had momentum. It actually had relevancy. Like that's why I actually say I'm more excited for Collision because I actually feel like Collision will actually benefit from just a solid Dynamite because it feels like they're paying attention. Like they're paying attention to the second show. When was the last time you could say that both shows were genuinely being focused on? On a full on 50-50 basis, when was the last time you could say that, oh yeah, Collision and Dynamite are being treated the same? It's been a while for me, if I'm being honest. And that's truly the difference. So whereas it's not saying, oh yeah, it's a bad show, it automatically is terrible. Let's not talk about it. No, we're going to talk about it because it's relevant. And it's time that I think, and it's what I was going back to about the reason why I brought up like name your go-to AEW match that you would think of. The reason why I asked is because shows have like everything has systematically a formula. Like there's a formula to what's being done. And that's a good thing. Is that seriously what that Muppet said? Did he seriously say that? AEW doesn't seem to care. You wonder why no one takes him seriously. What's next? He's going to get to WrestleDream. Oh, AEW comes to Missouri. It doesn't feel like bad blood. It feels like a sleep. You'll probably say something like that. This is the type of person that I actively don't listen to. Like, this is the same guy who this is how I know he sucks. Take your time, Roy Sheen, but we'll see you when you're better. You'll be missed. Have a good one and see you next time. But do try and rest up as best you can. I can't take JD seriously because every time he goes to praise something, it's always in bad faith. It's never about, oh, this was done right. And this is the next part of what they can do. It's always, oh, yeah, it goes like this. Like, he's like a wannabe gangster. He looks like somebody you would love to just knock out. He does. His his praisals of wrestling products is, that he has like he's got a means to it. Like, I'm gonna give you an example. WWE pre-pandemic, up until I want to say maybe summer 2021. He was all over WWE like they were the coronavirus. Like JD was literally all over WWE like COVID. Like he was absolutely smacking them apart. And it was for the same shit that he's now saying about AEW, but then he switches it like that overnight. All of a sudden, oh yeah, WWE is doing perfect. They do this, they do that. Sticking up for Gail Kim. Simp. This is a guy who got kicked off his own promotion that he commentates because of how he treats women. Catherine might hate women's wrestling, but JD hates women full stop. The guy is a fucking virus. Coincidentally, about late 2021, 2022, when he all of a sudden just switched up on AEW, he was praising them like it was all up in the air, and then boom, switched over. Oh, now AEW just shit all of a sudden to him. When he's not making money talking shit about one company, he will immediately talk shit on the other. He unplugs himself from one part of the matrix and gets plugged into the next. He ain't anybody that you could genuinely say when they praise a company, you take it seriously. Now, if you go back through all my videos, I'm not going to compare myself to JD because I'm, as you can see, much more appropriate. When you look at my videos, I try very hard to praise something I don't like. I actively do not like the creative direction of the WWE. And I haven't for a very long time. At least I'm honest. And I try to find something I think, you know, actually this works for me. I like this. This has potential. And then 30 seconds later, it's up in smoke. Whereas JD, it's, oh, Triple H, hold on 1 minute. And he's gobble gobble. Just look through his videos. That's why I don't watch the guy, because I see him get clipped onto my timeline all the time, and I'm sick of people putting him on my fucking timeline. He is an illness to what I would love to say is the genuine confounds of wrestling content creating. I am not the best content creator out there. Proud to say it. But I don't come on here and demand you give me money for your wrestling opinions. I don't come in here and demand money to do a show. I don't come in here and say, "Oh, your loyalty is everything." Through your money, it's not. If you guys are in these videos for 5 minutes and say 4 comments in 5 minutes and then leave, that's your call. The difference is, I'm not going to beg you like these big morons do. Difference is, I have a full time job. I love to talk about wrestling as a hobby. If this channel somehow was monetized, I wouldn't just say all of a sudden, oh, guys, you can start tonight. I would just say, by the way, this is now an option. If you would like to, please do. Not, oh, yeah, just go and do it. That's what he does. He is a virus. The difference is, you can't get Windows Defender to block out JD. You want to get rid of JD, you don't watch him. Now that's over with. I can categorically say it like that's what I think. My takes may come across as harsh, or my opinions may come across as harsh, but I am fair with everybody. Like, I am very fair. I can be extremely harsh, but I back it up. Like, that's a major talking point for me. Like, that's what sets my channel apart. I can with Jesse. Jesse is much. Oh, yeah, hold on. First of all, let's just do the right thing. He does that stupid collision corner thing with that Jessica. I know of Jesse, but I don't watch. Jesse is much more fair with his wrestling taste. I was in his watch along with some dudes said kickouts are stupid in AEW, but okay in WWE, and Jesse went off on him. Let me guess. Oh God, he had a power bomb. 1, 2, kick out. Oh, but WWE 1, 2. Oh, kick out. Oh, we got a match. I haven't spoken about Queen Aminata in a long time. Can't remember the last time I spoke on Queen Aminata, to be fair, and I was actually very fair on her recently when I last spoke about her. When I last spoke about her, I did praise her. That I can confirm, I did praise. What are your thoughts on a tournament deciding Cena's very last challenger? I understand it. I mean, it could give you a different possibility of who can get the match, I suppose. I just think personally they should just do the right thing and just let him choose his final opponent. I think they should just let him choose his final opponent, if I'm honest. There wasn't any money on the line this week on AEW. He's learning, yeah, but have you seen what's happening with Jurassic Express versus the Young Bucks? $500,000. Jesse actually is fair on both AEW and WWE much more than toilet shitball. Yeah. See his channel. It would be so much better if JD was removed. Yeah, he should have a say in his last opponent. Or if he gets to choose who's in the tournament. If they do a tournament, then he should get to choose who's in it. Oh, it is. I still think I still have no I have no want for the match just yet. I'm still gonna stand by it. I like Jurassic Express versus we'll call them the Broke Bucks now. I like it, but I don't want them to just go straight to the WrestleDream match. I wanted this to be Full Gear. It would have made so much sense, and I'll tell you why I think that when we get to it, because then you'll see what I'm thinking rather than just be saying, "Oh, I don't like it because it's the Bucks." No, I love the Bucks. I love the Bucks more now than I ever did because I love the work they're putting in. Like this is a different type of work from them. And people say they can't do this shit. Well, they can. But there's so many things with this that can be so much more effective. That's why I'm like, Full Gear fuckers. They could do. I just wish the first one was Full Gear. No tag titles. This feud does not need tag titles in it. And I'm gonna say on a limb, the Bucks don't need them anymore. Like they don't need the tag titles anymore. But let's run through this show though, and then we'll get through things and we'll discuss it accordingly. So, how does Dynamite begin? there's someone. It was a man. It was a interesting man. I think it. I think it was a man with a short mullet, or was it a large man? Gotcha, bitch. You ain't getting your title back. Predictions are tomorrow. Who gets Brodito after Okada and Takeshita? Gates of Agony. Gates of Agony are getting a pay-per-view rematch. I think. Anyway, to quote Catherine's favourite phrase, she loves Hangman. We heard that. I'll be surprised if they do win. I feel like if they do win, the more you add to the dislike storyline, the more it. This is actually a thing that is actually a long recurrent problem. This is such a. There's been so many instances where people who don't like each other win tag titles and then the feud ends up not delivering. So they've got to be very careful. And I say that with restraint. Like, they have to be very careful. Okada and Takeshita should win the tag titles for a little while before they feud. Takeshita wins the unified title. We'll see. I'm still expecting them to win it, but for me personally, I think, considering what could happen at WrestleDream next week, Okada should just hit the Rainmaker on Takeshita in the middle of the ring and walk out on him. Hit the Rainmaker, walk out, and Don Callis follows him. That's what I'm thinking anyway. But if they do win it, caution restraint. It was ECW. That was also an excellent storyline that was designed purely by Chris Candido, who actually did like Lance Storm. They used it brilliantly as a dislike storyline. It was really well done. I've never really been a fan of they're just put together and they don't like each other and they win the belts together, because I've seen it a few times and it doesn't always work or doesn't always translate well. It's not enjoyable. And I've seen it in a lot of promotions. So I feel like seeing it for the umpteenth time is not new, it's not fresh. But they could make it interesting. But that's speculation. Like, it can happen. That's 45 minutes I'm never getting back. Said Isaac to Moses. But let's run through the palatrays of this show. So Hangman starts us off with Samoa Joe and he questions the challenger why he lost his cool on last week's show before they started beating the hell out of each other and Hangman ran away with like a little girl. Hangman says that he's always treated Samoa Joe with gratitude and respect for everything he's done for him, and he was handing him the title belt, and it dropped from his hand. And the reason why he gave him the world title shot was because of what he's done for him that helped him get to the title. He risked himself to allow Hangman to become world champ. To which Samoa Joe goes, "To hell with you, you Buckeye fuck." There's one for Catherine. Buckeye fuck. Completely disregards the Hangman, and whereas Hangman has a good promo, Joe has a great promo. And I said it on last week's show. Hangman had good shit with MJF over not too long ago. But you put him in a promo against Samoa Joe, you better be prepared. Because he's no ordinary promo. Like, he isn't. Like, Joe is one of the best promos all round. His delivery, his word choice, his expressions, the volume in his tone, the volume in his voice. They never fail. I agree. I agree with that, Maria. I think it is clunky. Overall, I don't really need to expect it. I know the match will be good because they've got incredible chemistry. But I genuinely do agree. I think it will be clunky, but they using oh I've never beat you in the ring as a method of story isn't always a good storyline choice either. It's always like a meticulous effort to just jump to this. And quite frankly, well, the hell, I'll say it. If Hangman gets bullied again by Joe in another promo session, Hangman's title reign is fucked. Beyond repair. And I will not divert my point of view on that. Maria, I agree with that 100%. Tony Khan does not have a plan for it. I completely agree. And I think that's actually shocking. And it's not the first time that we've questioned Tony Khan about world title plans as well. Like, we've said this before, we've been very fair on it before. This is one of those where he's just like, well, I don't know. Hangman isn't just some random wrestler, you know, like he is someone very important to AEW, whether you like him or not, Catherine. Like, the guy is seriously important to this promotion. You've got to take him seriously when it comes to a title reign. You can't just not do it. Like, what does that say about it? Oh yeah, like, we're gonna have you defeat our world champion who's been champion for so long. Well done, thank you very much. Oh, hold on. That's his title reign. And I'm actually quite astounded by it. And that is a genuine problem. And whoever beats Hangman, here's another thing, whoever beats Hangman for the title, is the next champion actually in a good place to beat Hangman? Like, do you feel like the world title actually... You know what I mean? Like, when you win the title, like, if you're going from a strong champion to the next, you know it's going in a good trajectory. I'm not saying Hangman's title matches have been bad. I've liked his title matches. What I'm saying is, you've gone from Moxley's run to Hangman, and people are doing what ironically happened to Cody Rhodes. When Cody Rhodes first won the title after he beat Roman, the first thing people did was, okay, how long until he loses it? And we were all there. We all had the same feeling. We all had the same doubt, the same questions. Who's going to beat him? Well, here's the question now. Who's actually going to take the belt of Hangman, and are they actually in a good position to take it off him? More important to AEW, Moxley, Hangman, or Kenny Omega? I would say in order it goes Omega, Moxley, Hangman. Hangman absolutely was the very first talent signed, 100%, but in terms of overall stature and impact and historical importance, Omega number 1, Moxley number 2, Hangman number 3. Omega is still more important than Moxley. But Moxley is by far the best heel that AEW's ever had. I would normally say a particular type of heel. Moxley is the best heel they have now. Like, I'm confident in that. It's become like Cody's first title in 100%. See, James, you get me. Swerve is important to AEW. He's not the most important person, but he is important. When I look at the overall trajectory of the company, everyone has a key moment. There's pros and there's cons, but 100% Hangman's title reign for what he could produce. Will Ospreay's Not yet. He's only been in the company a few years. Officially, a few years. In the terms of the future going onwards, absolutely he is so important. He's massively important. But right now, I would say no. I would say he's a massive step to it. Like, he's missed. Absolutely, he's missed in the company. I would say Jay White's a bigger miss. I think Jay White is the biggest miss in AEW right now. Especially when fully fit, because Jay White is the most all-round they have that they need. There's a reason that people literally say whenever he's in the ring, belt him up. Everybody that's anybody watches AEW wants Jay White to be world champion or a major champion because they know what he brings. That right there is someone they miss so damn much. Hopefully he will return. 2026, unfortunately. He's out for the rest of this year. Obviously, Samoa Joe tears Hangman apart. But Hangman claims that he's going to beat Joe in the middle of the ring. We'll see. The fact that Samoa Joe told Hangman that he's not worthy of the title, he called him a pretender. Me too, bud, me too. Calling him a pretender was incredible by him. I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed that particular line from Joe. It stole the whole segment. Pushing on, the opening contest of this Dynamite was, we've just mentioned his name, funnily enough. It is Moxley versus Ishii. Again, don't know why. I actually do not know why this is a match, but okay. Both men very vicious against each other. There's no holding back. It lives up to their aggressive past in New Japan. One moment in this match where Moxley actually does an Irish whip on Ishii into the post, and Ishii just headbutts the thing, full on just headbutts the post. No sells it, but he is forced into a KO position after Moxley knocks him out with the Bulldog choke. We get ref stoppage again. It does protect Ishii in a way, so I'm okay with that. So violent between them, that no sell moment was insane. Moxley during this match as well, he does hit a gotch pile driver as well, which Ishii just gets straight back up and then gets hit with a curb stomp. I thought that was really cool. We get our trios street fight next. It's the Hurt Syndicate versus Demand. I don't know if they're on demand because they might need to hit rewind and fast forward. But this was one hell of a fight between MVP, Benjamin, and Lashley versus Toa Leona, Ricochet and Bishop Con. This was fucking wild, and that suplex at the table was one of the best released German suplex I've ever seen. This wasn't better than the All Out match, but it was still a good watch. In terms of more than just the wrestling, it was the violence. I did like it, but I feel like what's missing from it is the way you're going to lean into it. Where do you go next? I don't know what the next steps are if you watch it. Now, I can see the demand potentially going for the trios titles. I think this match that was won by the Hurt Syndicate is their next step to going after the Don Callis family. I think that's their next target. And I think that's what we need. Double spears as well from Lashley to Khan and Leona does help here. And then, speaking of their names earlier on, Jurassic Express versus local talent, KM and Orion. Not good. They would win with Countdown to Extinction, which is generally one of the coolest tag team moves ever. This was a squash that led to the Bucks attacking Jurassic Express, and obviously Darby Allin will be here later in the show, but the way this worked overall was so cool. Jack Perry, or Jungle Jack Perry as he calls himself now, he's being booked in a way to call the shots of the team, but he's not doing it in a way that disrespects Luchasaurus, which I do like. It's the opposite to the matriarchy, or formerly the patriarchy, now matriarchy. The Bucks in the crowd were absolutely brilliant in this one. The way they were selling, the fact they've got no money, the commentary mocking them, saying, "Oh look, they finally sat beside a fan." They would attack them backstage as well, and you would also see them at ringside. After the victory, of course, the Bucks do get in the ring. I love the way they expose the business here. Now, don't get me wrong, I think exposing the business is a stupid idea. But I do love the fact that they had a mic and openly said to Jack Perry, "This is what we call a callback." And it was the callback from when Jack Perry joined the Elite, when they attacked Tony Khan. I thought this was fucking hilarious. That Jack Perry was in the Tony Khan role, and he ate a Meltzer driver. Me too. I can't wait for that entrance. That'll be so good. Brokeback Mountain in full swing. But I said earlier on that I didn't want the Bucks versus Jurassic Express straight away. It's because I actually want to see them work up to the Bucks. And to be honest, I want to see the Bucks work up to Jurassic Express. Because let's be real, when you look at it, Jurassic Express have just returned to action as a team. They have money. The Bucks in storyline don't. The Bucks should not be able to entertain the attention yet of Jurassic Express in a match. Now, what you could do, I did say it earlier on, funnily enough, but you could do it for this match and it would be fine. because the Bucks are so broke, because their money got gambled away, which was genuinely a funny segment. Why not? I actually think they should throw this match out. The Bucks have got no cash, so you remind them that they've got no chance. They need to come out in torn attires. Like, you can't have them come out in perfect wrestling gear if they're broke, because they should be able to afford it. So they should come out with like stretch clothing or dusty or torn a little bit, ripped, because that adds to it where Jack Perry can rub it in. That will, and by throwing the match out, that then demands them to want opportunity and stake to win some money. I feel like if you just go straight to the money making point of the storyline, it feels like it's just a one and done. When I don't want it to be a one and done, I want this to be a trilogy. And I want it to be a trilogy that makes sense. And I think that's why they should do it this way. It's why I'm a little bit disappointed with Moxley versus Darby Allin. Because going from a casket, well, they say coffin match, but a casket match to an I Quit match. It should be I Quit to casket, in my opinion. After an I Quit match, you can't do any more matches. At that point, it's stupid. What are you going to do next? Molotov cocktail on a pole match? Marina Shafir on a pole match? Actually, Roderick Strong might get a bit too excited by that. It's just that little bit of logic where I'm like, this is what you're missing that turns it from good to great, great to incredible, you know? But I love the Bucks, especially in this whole situation, was perfect, and the way they mocked the whole situation is gold. Now, TNT title Kyle O'Reilly versus Kyle Fletcher. Kyle O'Reilly bullies Kyle Fletcher in this match. Like, it's not even an afterthought. Like, the way it works, like Kyle O'Reilly gets stuck in on bullying the limbs. Kyle Fletcher's legs and his arm gets ruined. But I love the fact this match ended not one, I'll say it often, not one, but two brainbusters. Two brainbusters that got the win for the champion, because again, they presented the challenger as serious and also as a credible opponent. Mark Briscoe, of course, is the next challenger for Kyle Fletcher. Are they going to have him win the belt? No. But we could get some enjoyment. I hope it goes 20 minutes the next time they fight, when it happens. She hates them, but she lives with them. It's Catherine's favourite division next. Women's division. TBS title match, Lacey Lane versus Mercedes Moné for the TBS title. Misses 500 close days. Again, we said it all out. The wrong person won. I think we're going to say in this one, the right person lost. Now, I know it's all about breaking the record, and I'm for it. But Mercedes Moné struggled to keep up with Lacey Lane. And if you don't think that's true, go back and rewatch this match. Lacey Lane's speed, Mercedes struggles because she doesn't know how to adapt to it. It does take her quite some time to do it, but eventually she does. But Lacey Lane has looked so good since leaving WWE. Maybe because she wasn't being used in the right way that makes sense to her, which is understandable. But she was used very well in this match. It balanced her speed and her agility, and it also allowed Mercedes Moné to be under pressure in a different way by someone who's actually more physical. Like, Lacey Lane is a more physical version of Rio, except not Japanese. Like, there's parts to it. Yeah, Scotland need to get their balls out of Greece's asses and do their jobs. A goal for them is coming. Scotland playing a 4-3-3 is very surprising, though. Now, I have a funny idea. A fun idea that I wouldn't mind. At the moment, we don't know if Katana Chance is going to AEW. Of course, Mercedes Moné wins with the moneymaker. We don't know if Katana Chance is going to go to AEW. So, since she signed a new full multi-year contract, what about Lacey Lane and Hikaru Shida as a tag team? Looks like Aaron Hickey's injured again. Ugh. That's not good. Which means that moron Ralston's probably coming on. I'm just checking 2 seconds. Oh, he's bringing on that clown Ralston. I hate life. But yeah, what if you put her in that situation? I think it'd be really cool. I did like the promo that they did for Lacey Lane, though. I liked the video promo package they did for her. Lacey Lane also nearly wins the match with her hammerlock flatliner, which is so fucking cool. There's a hype video for Sammy Guevara and Eddie Kingston talking about Kingston versus Beast Mortals, which is going to be on Collision. I'm so not interested. Sod it, get Naismith on, if only, eh? I think he is bringing on Ralston. How he still gets in the squads, I've got no idea. He does pull up on his hamstring, so it might not be anything too serious. Then your main event, of course, well, I would say main event, but unfortunately there's another shit thing to come, but the tag match for Double Jeopardy. Brodito versus Okada and Takeshita. Takeshita and Okada would win the match because Okada would tag himself in, hits the Rainmaker and gets the pin, which does piss off Takeshita. really pisses him off. And there's a lot more to it as well. By doing that, it actually allows opportunity to sink in. Oh, it looks like Billy Gilmore's coming on as well. He's taking off Ben Doak. I agree. He's actually shaking his head. I agree. I'm surprised by that. Unless he's going to play a 4-4-2 diamond, or is he going to still play the 4-3-3 but put McTominay further upfield? Maybe in a 4-2-3-1. Unless they play a 4-2-3-1 with McTominay moving into one of the 10 roles and he plays Christie and McGinn as the other. No, because that means Ferguson the deeper role when it should be. I would play Christie and Gilmore in midfield, McGinn, Ferguson, McTominay as the 3-10s. Yeah, that's what I would do. Either way, Ferguson, McTominay are the best two there for that position. Plus, McGinn can play anywhere. But yeah, I'll come to that later on. But they are trying to build up the synergy between Takeshita and Okada. They want to build the teamwork between them because it will make it more effective when they do split. The match is good. I love the fact that he just completely ignored Takeshita as well after he won the match. That's when you know it's coming to a head. It's by far the best two singles talents they have from that side of the world in their team, in the faction, in the strength that they've got. Okada and Takeshita are just up there. If only Omega was Japanese, it would be so much cooler. Bandito, of course, backstage did take the blame for the loss, and Brody said they would keep fighting, they would respond better at WrestleDream, which they will. Willow Nightingale and Jet Speed hype up their match with FTR and Megan Bayne on Collision. Again, they were looking great, and then of course Stokely Hathaway speaks, so skip. Because Stokely Hathaway, when he talks, you just want to get your ears covered or stapled shut. Main event is a rematch from Revolution several years ago. One that actually was a great one for one side, who was great because he stole the win, the other suffered. It is Pac versus Orange Cassidy. This match goes from ringside to amongst the fans, back in the ring, nearly a count out, an excellent way to stop a count out from Pac. New attire, new haircut, new attitude. Pac Barrett, as I call him now, because he looks like Wade Barrett and it's creepy. Either way, amongst the fans, Pac does hit a tombstone pile driver. Oh, that's 1-0 Greece. That cunt Simicast. Bastard. Yep, game plan gone. Yep, see, that's what happens when you make that shitty sub. Steve Clark, get him sacked, man. Absolutely, genuinely don't like this manager. But yeah, he would hit a tombstone power drive. Before he can capitalize, he gets handcuffed to the barricade by a surprise in store Darby Allin. Pac does break free, gets back in the ring, gets caught into a victory roll. Orange Cassidy wins. And then the Death Riders come out to help Pac, who chases Darby Allin, who, in the most explosive moment on the entire show. Yep. Can't wait. In one of the most explosive moments of the show, Darby Allin brings out a fucking Molotov cocktail like he's playing Grand Theft Auto. Ah, yes, it's a Molotov cocktail. This man was ready to torch people. What the was that? Total shock. Did not see that coming. Like, at all. I did not expect that at all. I don't know how to react to it. Because this is the stuff where, does that even make sense? Is that even logical? I get it. Darby Allin wants to completely eliminate the Death Riders, but a Molotov cocktail, I don't get it. That was a terrible corner kick, but the response is perfect because the goal is gorgeous. And it's Ryan Christie. Off his right foot as well, eh? Fucking shit hot finish. I didn't expect them to score so quick, though, I will admit, because that's Scotland for you. But that was Dynamite for you. Oh, if that Muppet has it ruled offside, I hope he gets burnt. He deserves to be thrown into an incinerator. If this gets ruled off, fuck that prick. I hate Grant Hanley. Don't even want him in the team in the first place. Same with Ralston. Let me just see if it gets given or not. Wouldn't surprise me if they don't give it. Doesn't take that long to check VAR. Yeah, good decision. Maria, that is a great question. Is AEW depending on too much, like on stuff like what we saw at the end of Dynamite with Darby getting tackled because he was threatening to blow up Moxley? In a way, yeah. In a way, they do rely on it a lot, and it's the excitement, it's the shock factor, but in a way, do we need it all the time? Like, going to, like, obviously it's very cool to go to a Molotov cocktail, and I like the fact that James said it's COD World of War all over again. I thought that was a brilliant touch. But do they rely on it? It's a great question because when you think about it, it's a shock factor. But what are you going to build on it with? What's going to be next? What do you do after that? So, honestly, I do think they rely on it, and they have to think of other things to do. It's not saying that it's not saying it's a bad thing. It's not, but they can do better. Like, they can do better. And that's what we're talking about, like things that they miss on. So can we get those moments? Can we get those decisions? That's what I want to see, and that's what I'm hoping for, because that's what sets them apart. That's what we look for as fans. Those little intrinsities, you know? Let's not forget the Death Rouse. Exactly. That's true. That is true. Or trying to put bleach down Orange Cassidy's mouth. Down his throat. Like, it's these moments. And we're going to get there. It's not that they're doing bad things by storyline. I mean, like, the actual what they're doing on shows. It's maintaining the momentum and maintaining consistency and maintaining the focus of the shows that keeps it going. Are we going to see a change? We'll find out. Are we going to see benefit? I think so. 5-0. Jesus Christ, Denmark are destroying Belarus. That's a shame. But it gets to it, and I think that's what we're looking for, and that's why we can see the next step. We can see the plan. We can see the trajectory in the back of our eyes, in front of our minds. We can see it right in front of us, but they've got to strike it hard. All in all, 8 out of 10, 7.5, 8 out of 10. I think Collision will be better. I'm very sure of that. Just like I'm very sure that we have another great load of wrestling ahead of us. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to bid you all thank you for tonight. Also, going forward, I just want to ask, I don't want the thumbnails to be totally wild and fancy, but going forward, do you want a thumbnail with this background if I just change the logo a bit, if I just stick to the main design? Should this be the new primary thumbnail going forward? If I just remove the Dynamite Title Tuesday, I just keep the microphone. I keep the microphone. I put the part of the show and then all that. Is that what you think going forward we should stick with? Because I actually quite like it. Obviously, I can edit the microphone a little bit, but I do like the smoke it gives off. A little bit basic. A new blog up on Daniel Garcia. Is it? Hope he gets released soon, because I hope that's what it is. I quite like it. I'm going to stick with it. Just like I'll be sticking with you guys, because again, tomorrow, thank you, Catherine. Thank you, James. I appreciate it. Tomorrow on the channel, we are reviewing TNA and we are reviewing Ring of Honor. Bound for Glory predictions tomorrow, and Crown Jewels on Saturday. Then following shows King of Pro Wrestling and WrestleDream. But we do have another episode of the Steelchair Wrestling Alliance coming out where we have amended characters, not new characters, amended characters. The roster's been changed. They have their own logos. You'll get to see them because, after all, on the channel we have his name is Jeff and she is Melodramatic. Could be a wrestling couple, but he's got to put up a heart. Yeah, it's on at 1 p.m. my time in the afternoon. That's Australia for you. Australian times. But yes, more talk shows, more watch-along shows, more wrestling, more Steelchair, and more of you. Because you, the audience, is what this channel is all about. Like, share, and subscribe. Please share this with your friends. Tell a friend, get us out there. You know what the score is because we're going to be there. Watch along for Crown Jewel. You know what? Fuck it. Go on then. Alright then. We'll do a watch along for Crown Jewel. At least that way, Catherine can wake up to my speaking rather than have to watch this. Let's do it. Let's do a watch along for Crown Jewel. But in the meantime, I'm going to pass over to my elegant co-host as he speaks about himself because he's one-sided.
I want Spider-Man!
Misery, misery, misery. That's what you've chosen.
Say his name and he appears. I believe in
Reece Russell.
I believe in
Reece Russell.
cause they love him in Scotland and 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 Scotland. They say I believe in
Reece Russell.
I believe in
Reece Russell.
He seems to have come out of nowhere to answer the prayers of the city, just when all hope seemed to be lost.
I believe in
Reece Russell.
Actually, they should. Because Carlos Silva might learn a thing or two. You know, about not selling himself out. Or selling TNA out. Well, oh, I say that too loud. But just for you, James, you get this. You certainly do. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. It's been an absolute blast. I will see you all tomorrow. Look after yourselves. Stay safe. Do try this at home. But in the meantime, Steelchair signing out. Good night.
And today, our time comes to an end. This has been another exciting stream. Thank you very much for watching. And also, remember, if you get cracked over the head with a steel chair, you're not going to get concussion. You're just going to come back here. Goodbye.
It's my life and the box in front of me. Taking talk in my arms is the soul of me. You walk by